Is it me this week?
Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast.
Hello.
That was a great intro, Thomas. Thanks.
You're welcome.
So, today I watched...
What did you watch today?
Oh, I don't know. Hey, we're back. So let's talk about it. We watched, over the week, we watched, what did we watch?
Oh, over the week?
Yeah, for the movie, or for the podcast.
For the picks.
Yeah, what did we watch?
Well, my choice was The Housemaid from 1960, a South Korean film. And what was your choice?
The 2017 Obayashi film Hanagatami, by the director of House, or Hausu. He's done a bunch of other stuff. Reading about him over this, he's done a bunch of other stuff, and apparently most of them are like pretty well received in Japan, but like none of them have gotten U.S. releases or anywhere outside of Japan. Like even the movie we watched for our pick, it hasn't gotten a release yet either.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's really depressing, because Hausu is like a pretty like universally acclaimed film and talked about a lot. And I'm just like, so what gives? It makes me angry.
Yeah. Well, Janice Films, get on that.
Janice. Anyway, we'll get into that soon. But first, of course, we're going to talk about anything else we watched during the week. Thomas watched some One Piece.
Yeah, I watched some One Piece. That's my life right now.
And London watched... I watched Peanut Butter Falcon.
Yeah, how was that?
I really enjoyed it. It was good. For those who don't know, it's about Shia LaBeouf, or Boof, or Boof, befriending a young man with Down syndrome, and them trying to fulfill his dream of becoming like a wrestler. The story behind the making of the movie is that the guy in it, like the man with Down syndrome, he like went up to his friends and was like, "Let's make a movie together." And they're like, "Okay." And they got it. They got the ball running, the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm tired. And a bunch of big names signed on to it, like Dakota Johnson, Shia LaBeouf, John Bernthal's in it for a little bit.
Nice.
And then Thomas Hayden Church from Spider-Man 3. That's the only thing he's been in.
Great.
He plays Sandman.
Oh, nice.
He's a great actor. Not the only thing. He's
like
really good as Sandman. I know not everybody looks like Spider-Man 3, but I think he's really, really good.
Yeah, it seemed like he was one of the ones who was honestly like kind of trying to give a good performance in that movie.
You mean everyone? You mean the masterpiece that's Spider-Man 3?
Okay, yes, everyone in that movie was giving their all.
Thank you.
Including James Franco.
Yeah. He's like...
The greatest actor.
I don't like that, man. Bad person. Anyway, it was good. It was a little sappy towards the end. There's some stuff that was just like a few editing choices I didn't like, but overall, like for a directorial debut and like acting debuts, it was really good. I'm always surprised when I like see a movie that like somebody like it's the first movie they've made and I give it like a 7 or higher. I'm like, wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's hard.
I'm like, did you see Kubrick's first 2 films?
Yeah.
So maybe these two are going to be the next Kubrick.
Yeah, maybe.
So that was really good. And then for our movie day that we have every once a week, we watched a bunch of... We watched a bunch of parody/satire films.
I wasn't here for that.
We started off with Meet the Feebles, which I really enjoy, and it was really enjoyable this time around as well. And then we watched a bunch of garbage. We watched The Starving Games.
Yeah, I've seen...
And Disaster Movie.
Are those the only other two you watched?
We also watched Scary Movie 3.
Okay, I was going to say, like, I had seen... the majority of what you guys had watched.
We had planned to watch Spaceballs, but everybody bounced after Scary Movie 3. I'm like, why couldn't we finish it off with a good movie? I remember liking Scary Movie 3 when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I didn't this time around, but it was much better than the other two.
Yeah.
Like, at least I'd laughed at, like, 2 jokes.
Yeah, no, I haven't watched Scary Movie 3 in a long time either. I remember George Carlin's in it.
Yeah, he's
like the TV. He's like the dude he plays like the Ring girl's father in the movie.
Yes, he does.
Got all the TV.
He wants to fuck.
Yeah.
He wants to fuck Anna Faris. Anyway.
George Carlin.
Yeah, he died. People die.
It was like 10 years ago.
Yeah. R.I.P. I also watched Mamma Mia 2 finally.
Oh, here we go again.
Yes, because I didn't get a chance to watch it while I was in
I was going to say, didn't you see it?
No, I was so sad. I was working like all the time and I didn't get a chance to. I saw the same like sequence. Every time I would go in, it would be the same exact sequence of them dancing on a boat. Singing Dancing Queen, I think. And it was a great sequence. And I enjoyed the film. I love the first Mamma Mia. It's a very big comfort film for me. Like whenever I'm sad, I'll put on Mamma Mia. Oh, wow. So I'll constantly have Mamma Mia on because I'm constantly sad.
I'm glad you get
zing
comfort out of Mamma Mia.
Have you seen Mamma Mia?
I've seen.
You don't like it?
The trailer for Mamma Mia.
Okay.
I don't like the premise. I don't like ABBA. So
why?
I can get behind like. I like Dancing Queen.
Also, I'm always a fan of like regular people singing. I like watching regular people sing, like people that aren't really refined in the art of like making music and songs. So like people like Pierce Brosnan who don't have a super refined voice. I know that like a lot of people made fun of him when the first Mamma Mia came out because he isn't as like good of a singer as like Meryl Streep. But I'm like, I really like his music. Like, I like more amateurish music. That's why I'm such a big fan of, like, John Carney's, like, music trilogy. Like, Once and Sing Street, because they're more raw. I like raw.
Okay.
But this was not as good as the first one, but I enjoyed it because I liked ABBA. And then I watched one of your. I know you really like this movie. I watched Jesus Christ Superstar.
Oh yeah, I love it.
I thought it was okay. I enjoyed it. I really, really like the guy who plays Judas in it. Like, every time he's on screen, Anderson. Yes,
he's great.
Every time he's on screen, I was having the time of my life. And some of Jesus' songs as well, I really liked as well. The one with all the people who have like disabilities or are dying. Yeah, and they're like, see me. Yeah. I do not have legs. How can I walk or whatever. I really like that song. But then there's a lot of stuff I just didn't really care about. Like the like council or whatever, their songs.
What then to do about Jesus of Nazareth?
Yeah, I just didn't really care. Like, I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. I also didn't like Mary's songs.
I'm going to chime in here, and I'm going to talk just a little bit about my experience with Jesus Christ Superstar, just because it's not the movie that I particularly like. Like, I like the movie.
Okay.
It's the music I like most of it. I like operas and stuff. So like when I worked at the theater, when I was like closing a lot, like I basically like listened to that every night because it made the time kind of go by faster. I discovered the movie, like, I was watching, like, a review of it online, and I had heard a bit of Carl Anderson's first song, The Heaven on Their Minds, and I was like, what the fuck?
That is, like...
What the fuck?
That is one of, like, the best opening songs.
Yeah, no, that's probably my favorite. That, or... I really like all the songs on the album and in the movie, but... The first time I like heard that song, I was like, I fucking love this. I gotta like buy this movie, and I like bought it and I watched it with my roommate Brian at the time. And I like fallen asleep through it. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't really care for like the other like 75% of the songs that I hadn't heard before I had seen the movie. But yeah, it was just one of those like
Thomas always falling asleep.
It happens sometimes. It was like one of those things that like. I listened to it more, and I was like getting the other songs stuck in my head.
This is epic.
I'm like, yeah, just slowly.
This is epic.
Slowly, I came around, and I enjoy the whole album.
Epic.
It's pretty epic. Oh, every time I look at you, I don't understand.
How do you put on pants?
They don't...
How do you put on the pants?
I guess they're wearing pants.
Yeah, they're wearing, like, modern day clothes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they don't.
They're like, I'm carrying around a cash register.
Yeah.
God damn it, I adjusted the volume and then I put it up too much. Why can't I do things right?
But, so you watched Jesus Christ Superstar?
I did.
What else did you watch?
I watched the new Dave Chappelle special.
Oh, how was it?
It's the worst thing I've ever seen.
Oh.
I fucking hate it. I haven't enjoyed the return of Dave Chappelle pretty much at all, personally. But it was just like 2005 humor, and it was just edgy for the sake of being edgy. And it was just really predictable jokes, and it was just really mean. Like, just for being mean. And there wasn't any, like, it wasn't any even jokes either. It was just like, trans people. And then everybody in the audience like, yeah!
Huh. I'll have to.
But there's it's mostly getting positive reviews. People really like it.
Yeah,
you should. But there's nothing quite as. It's so funny. I put a review on Letterboxd for it.
Oh, no.
And there's so many people getting triggered by me giving it such a low rating.
Oh yeah, of course.
They're like, you need to see a doctor if you can't get a joke. And I'm like, what does that mean? What do you mean by that?
I can't go see a doctor. I'm a millennial.
Yeah, exactly. And I just thought it was bad. Like, it was worse than Unplanned.
Oh, that's a pretty bold statement.
It's the worst thing I've seen this year so far.
Wow.
We still got a couple months.
I don't know if this is one of those things that I'd have to, like, see for myself.
Yeah.
You and I have, like, kind of, like, we're different people.
What?
I've got an edgier sense of humor than you do.
I'm pretty edgy. I just like proper joke structure. I just didn't think... Like, the people that were complaining about my review don't understand that I don't necessarily care what you joke about as long as you make a good joke. And I didn't find any of it funny. Yeah. Like, so I don't like being edgy just to be edgy. If you're being edgy to make a good joke, that's fine, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I just didn't find any of it funny. And then I watched another Norman Jewison film. The guy who directed Jesus Christ Superstar.
Oh,
I watched.
He also directed Fiddler on the Roof's musical.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of musicals.
Didn't he do In the Heat of the Night?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
If he did, my mind is blown, because I didn't know that.
Hold on. Technical issues. Norman Jewison, In the Heat of the Night. He also did Moonstruck with Cher and Nicolas Cage, which is a great film. But he also did a movie in 1996 called Bogus with Whoopi Goldberg and Haley Joel Osment.
Was it pretty bogus?
It was pretty bad. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It's about Haley Joel Osment. His mother is a circus performer. And he's, like, best friends with the magician that travels with them. Mm. Or, like, they're a traveling, like, magic act or something. But then his mother dies in a car crash.
Oh, no.
And he wants to stay with the magic people, but he can't. So he has to go stay with her, like, foster sister, who is Whoopi Goldberg.
Okay.
But he gets an imaginary friend because of this trauma, who is a big French man.
Oh.
Because the magician was French. So, therefore, the imaginary friend has to be French. And he's like, oh, je suis dodo, a baguette. You do not have to be sad. You can be glad. It's okay. She just do not understand. And, like...
Sounds kind of like the premise for Taika Waititi's...
What, Jojo Rabbit?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I feel... Well, and it's like...
There was some actually like pretty good scenes in it, but for the most part, it was pretty bad. Like it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it would be. I'm like, this looks terrible, so I turned it on. I'm like, okay, that's actually there's like some pretty interesting shots. Like there's a shot of him like running away from like his mother's funeral. And, like, it's a shot of, like, him running across this graveyard, and, like, it's in front of him, and he's running towards the camera, and there's just a bunch of people running behind him, and it's, like, a really good shot. Like, there were a couple, like, really good shots. I'm like, interesting. And then just yesterday, I watched the 2 movies for the podcast, but I also watched Tommy right after it. The Who rock opera.
Yeah. That's Ken Russell who directs
Ken Russell,
The Devils.
The Devils. He also did another movie with Roger Daltrey.
Altered States is another one he did.
Oh.
He only directed like a handful of movies before he died, unfortunately.
What?
It's real sad.
I think he directed quite a bit before he... I think he was just working a lot.
I swear I looked at his IMDb one time and I only saw like 5 directorial...
Well,
credits.
on Letterboxd, he has 69 films under the...
Under his director?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
He lived a while.
Oh, I thought he had only directed a handful of films.
He died only like 8 years ago.
I thought he died like back in the 80s.
No, he died in 2011.
Oh, shit. I must be getting him mixed up with somebody else.
These nuts. Anyway, be right back. Welcome back to the podcast. We were talking about Tommy, but then my roommate wanted to take a shower. Like a normal person.
What a normal person.
So Tommy was also pretty good. You know, it's really psychedelic, really cool, but like... based on an album.
Yeah.
And the album's good, and the music's good, but some of the narrative doesn't really fit a long-form film, so it's just kind of, let's jump over to the next part. So it's a little annoying, but it's, God, Roger Daltrey is such a fucking good voice, so by the time he starts singing later on, I'm like, perfect. Sexy. It makes me... come. Anyway, so those are my thoughts on Tommy. And I think that's all I watched this week.
Oh, wow.
I watched a lot of TV. Like, I watched all 3 seasons of Kim's Convenience.
Oh, okay.
Which is 39 episodes, so I spent most of my time doing that and playing the Yu-Gi-Oh! GameCube game.
Oh, nice.
So I would have half of my screen filled with Netflix playing Kim's Convenience and half of my screen with a GameCube emulator on.
I feel I've been pretty much the same as last week, where it's like I've just been going through like One Piece shit and playing like Friday the 13th, and I've got like my PS4 hooked up to my old computer monitor and some speakers, and got my Friday the 13th on the Xbox on my TV, so it's like I got both going on at the same time.
Anyway, what's your movie idea?
Oh, fuck. I don't know.
Alright, so here's mine.
You actually thought of one?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's only a loose one. Like, I thought of it, and I'm like, this is genius. And I couldn't think of anything more. So, I like movies with, like, business rivalries, even though I don't like businesses. But I think it's kind of an interesting dynamic. So, rival ice cream truck drivers.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
But they're secretly gay for each other.
Okay.
So, you know, they're just trying to make ice cream, but, like, more and more, it's like a love story. They keep having to go, like, they go to the same, like, warehouse depot to get, like, refills on their ice cream. And they always run into each other. And they're always like, oh, one time, like, one of them has an extra ice cream truck because he wanted to expand originally. And, somebody stole the tires off of the main guy's ice cream truck and he can't drive. So in a moment of kindness, pure kindness and love, he, like, lets him use his ice cream truck. And then they just slowly start falling in love with each other.
Seems like a very wholesome movie.
Yeah. but I want it to be like...
I just picture like the most hardcore like sex scene in one of the ice cream trucks.
Yeah.
That's what I want the conclusion of the film to be like building up to the entire time. Like these two like, they're like kind of like just teasing like, oh yeah, you know, I kind of seems like.
And I want it to be like the most mismatched pair of people, like like The Rock is one, and like Michael Cera is the other.
Okay, so that's a pretty good.
And at the end, it's just Michael Cera fucking giving it to The Rock. Just pounding away at The Rock.
Of course. It wouldn't be funny if The Rock was giving
Well, it's not funny either way. It's beautiful and loving, Thomas. Gay people aren't funny, Thomas.
Gay people can be funny, just like any other person in London. How dare you say gay people aren't funny? I bet every gay comedian listening to this
every gay is funny. Looking. Got him.
Alright.
I don't know why that came. Like, I was thinking about this the other day, and I couldn't stop thinking, gay ice cream truck rivalry? Oh! Because I had watched another film about a woman. It was called Falling in Love, but it was INN. Because the plot is she wins an inn in New Zealand and moves there to fix it up, and she falls in love with somebody there.
Who wins an inn?
It was secretly like a really shitty inn, and it was somebody like trying to get rid of it.
Oh.
So she got suckered into it. That was really bad.
Sounds like...
Like, I liked seeing New Zealand, but that was really, really bad. And I'm like, I knew from the beginning, like from the title, it was going to be really, really bad. Or really incredible, and it was going to be like this meta kind of thing, like falling in love, like, we know what we're doing, we're just being silly. But no, it was bad. Anyway, what's your movie idea?
Alright, well, you know, like, the whole, like, cliche and, like, a lot of stories where, maybe, like, a guy's sleeping with a girl, or...
That's gross.
Yeah, and she's like, I want to be with you, but my idiot husband is in the way, and he just needs to be taken care of. So the dude's like, I gotcha. I'll go take care of him. So he goes, and he sleeps with the husband, too. And he's like, yeah, I'll help you murder your wife. But while he's, like, planning to, like, murder both, he's actually just really trying to fix their relationship.
And it turns out at the end he's an angel.
Yeah, he's like, alright.
He just starts floating.
He's like, oh, guys, thanks. This got me my halo. And he just flies up into the sky.
And then the song Halo starts just like playing as he flies up into the sky.
Yeah. It'll play, I think it's Nickelback. I'm more familiar with the Hinder version, but Lips of an Angel. And he'll just have, like, big fat lips all of a sudden.
Who would be playing this angel? Michael Cera again?
Yeah, why not? I love Michael Cera.
The husband could be The Rock. Because then we could do a double feature thing. Like, it could be like the Grindhouse films. We could release them at the same time in a double feature.
You know, as great as that sounds, I don't think the Grindhouse double feature featured, the exact same cast.
Yeah, well, that's why it wasn't as good.
That's a fair point. You know, because this might be a little bit of a controversial statement. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the Grindhouse double feature movies.
It's Planet Terror and Death Proof, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it together. I've only seen Planet Terror, and I thought that was okay at best.
Yeah.
Like, I like the goofy shit in it.
Yeah, like, I don't like...
And there's, like, some really fucking stupid dialogue that goes on and on and on and on and on.
Yeah, I don't hate them by any means. Like, it's not like I'm, like, going out and trying to, like, buy all the copies and burn them or anything, but... Yeah, like, Death Proof is probably my least favorite, just, like, pure Tarantino movie that's, like, directed by him solely. Because, like, I wasn't a big fan of his bit in 4 Rooms either. And yeah, Planet Terror I thought was, like, for what it is, it's fine. Just not my cup of tea.
How'd she shoot?
It's a good question.
With her vagina juices. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if that's how she shot that.
Telepathic vagina juice.
There we go.
Genius. For those who don't know, she has a gun leg.
Yeah.
Okay, I love your idea. Maybe don't have it. Maybe only have Michael Cera in it, but like have like off the wall comment where he talks about back when he was a human, because maybe in this universe humans like become angels. Back when he was a human, he was an ice cream truck driver.
There we go. There we go.
And maybe when he's rising up to heaven, like you see and you look up and you see the Rock's face, like.
And then someone from Pureflix comes and goes, "Hey, gays can't go to heaven according to my religion.
Samoan people aren't allowed in heaven.
Hey, anyone who's not white can't go to heaven.
No people that aren't white and straight.
Yeah. Only cis white males can go to heaven, guys.
It's in the rule book.
It's in the Bible. Haven't you read the Bible? It's all you need to read. It's proof enough.
This book made by people. I'm not gonna no.
Yeah, okay, let's probably not dive
Fuck the book. No.
too deep before we offend any random listeners who might just be dropping by and go, "Hey, I'm a Christian."
Hey, I'm reading the Bible right now.
My favorite part is
Leviticus 93:7. I don't. That's not one.
I know Leviticus
10:17. That's the bad one.
Yeah, that's the really fucked up one.
I mean, want to read that one.
But
anyway.
Yeah.
Let's just jump right into it.
Alright, so, The Housemaid. Yeah, so basically, I don't know if I'm gonna give, like, a super detailed plot synopsis, but maybe just, like, a kind of general gist, because I didn't write, like, detailed notes or anything. But,
I did.
Oh, well, good for you. Basically, there's this factory worker who teaches like music, because apparently they teach music in the factory.
Well,
it's like a way to like
Mr.
relax.
Kim is like he's a music teacher, and he just happens to teach it to factory workers.
Okay.
To like keep their morale up.
Yeah, and basically, so he receives a love letter from one of the factory workers, and he basically goes and turns it in, and he's like, well, okay, but before any of this happens, there's like a scene where he's like at home with his family, and he's like reading an article in the paper, and he's like, this dude was cheating on his wife with the housemaid, and she's like, what a fucking idiot. Who would sleep with the housemaid? And he's like, well, I don't know. I mean, the housemaid's like the fucking first person to greet me when I get home, and she does all the fucking work around here. I mean, why wouldn't he want to sleep with the housemaid? And it's just like,
got him.
Okay. And basically,
one thing to note is everyone in this film is kind of an awful person.
Yeah.
Except like the daughter, I guess.
Yeah,
because the son in it's a fucking little dickhead.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of,
he's like,
the son.
You're a cripple!
The kids in this reminded me, without, like, getting into spoilers, reminded me a lot of, like, the kids in the dynamic of, Killing of a Sacred Deer.
I feel it.
I got a lot of, like, vibes kind of, like, reminding me of that when I was watching this. 'Cause, like, in that movie, it's like, hey, can I have, like, your iPod when, it happens? So, basically, yeah, he's teaching music to the factory workers. One of the factory workers leaves a little, like, love note in his piano. He reads it, he plays part of the piece, and then he's like, he just can't handle it, he's gotta go snitch. He's like, oh, this is inappropriate. They shouldn't be allowed to confess their love for me. A married man. So he, like, reports on the woman, and she gets, like, suspended for 3 days.
But she just kind of quits because of it, I think.
Yeah, she comes in and she's like,
I'm leaving because I'm our music teacher!
Yeah, and she leaves. And it's like, alright, whatever. And her friend comes by his place and is basically like, I want piano lessons. So he starts teaching her piano, and she's got, I don't know if it's like her friend
I think what
it's
it is...
like a roommate or something?
But I'm pretty sure...
Someone who lives at the dorms.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's maybe like her new roommate.
Yeah.
Because I think she was rooming with the original woman who left.
Yeah.
So I think it's like her new roommate. She like kind of knows him. And he's looking into getting a housemaid because his wife is like really ill. I don't know.
Is she really ill or is she really pregnant?
I don't know. Like, she's like... I think both.
Because at the beginning of the movie, I thought she was like dying, and then like partway through the movie, suddenly she was like pregnant. I'm like, oh, that's probably what it was.
It seems like she was pregnant, but she's also just kind of like prone to sickness in real life, like regularly, probably.
Yeah, probably.
So they just got a new like 2-story house, and it's too big for her to like clean all of it. So they decided to get a housemaid, and this woman, her name was Miss Cho, the one who wanted piano lessons, has a roommate who she's like, hey, you should be their housemaid. You get money, but you should give me 1/5 of the money. And she's like, okay.
Yeah, so basically she becomes the housemaid, and that goes on for a little while. Like, nothing too major happens. There's some like kind of creepy, stalkery scenes with her where she's kind of like just like watching piano lessons from like outside.
Yeah, she likes to. There's like a balcony in between her room and like the piano room, and you could just take the door. But she just likes to go out on the balcony and then just stare in through the window.
Yeah.
Like a goon, like a scary lady.
Mm-hmm. And, so what ends up happening is basically we find out that it wasn't the first factory worker who we thought had given the love letter. It was actually Miss Cho.
Yeah.
And she basically confesses her love for him while, like, he's giving her piano lessons, and he's basically like...
He's like, fuck.
Yeah, he's like, nope, this isn't gonna work. Sorry, but you should still, come for your piano lessons, because we need money.
Yeah.
Which I thought, it was like, oh my god, what the fuck? Because she didn't he, like, toss her down the stairs a little?
Yeah, he, like, pushed her. And, it's like, yeah, he's like, I won't let you interfere with my family. And she's like, oh, fucking...
She threatens.
She threatens to, like, say that he raped her. I'm like, what the fuck? Come on.
Yeah.
Literally everybody in this movie is the worst.
You almost feel like a small shred of sympathy for this guy. Because that's a shitty situation to be in. Until... not even, like, 20 seconds after Miss Cho leaves... The housemaid basically goes and goes, hey, I want to fuck you too. And he's like, okay, yeah, okay.
He's pretty much like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so he ends up sleeping with the housemaid, and she becomes super obsessive and
pregnant.
Pregnant, yes.
And then the movie starts to get intense.
Yeah, basically she's, it starts off with her like holding it over his head like, I'm going to tell your wife. And he's like,
what if I tell my wife?
She's like, then I'll kill your wife. And he's like,
But he does end up telling the wife.
Yeah.
And she's like, he first starts as like, will you stand by me always? And she's like, of course. And he's like, even if I rob somebody? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, even if I killed somebody? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, even if I got somebody pregnant? And she's like, I fucking hate you. Just immediately, she's like, who did you get pregnant?
Yeah. It's a fair reaction, because it's just like, I'd be very angry, because like, if someone's like, if I robbed somebody, or if I murdered somebody, it's a bit different, but like, if you cheat on somebody, that's like a betrayal to that person.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just like, that's fucked. You shouldn't expect them, because he's like, what the fuck? You said you were going to stand by me.
And she's like, yeah, but I also knew you, like, she didn't say it, but she also knew he didn't kill somebody. Like,
yeah. And basically, she puts it together pretty fast that it's the housemaid. She goes up, and
they're like, the housemaid's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And she's like, it's okay. You're like a sister to me. We can be friends. You just have to do one thing for me. I
scoffed so hard at that line. I'm like, where did you fucking...
And what? She convinces the housemaid to throw herself down the stairs onto her stomach so that the baby will die.
And she does it. And then, of course, this movie, just everyone's logic in it makes me very, very upset. I don't know if it's, like, necessarily, like... No, I think it's just kind of bad writing. I was going to say, I don't know if it's, like, a cultural thing, maybe, because this is, like, from the 60s, and it's, like... I
don't know if I would say it's bad. Like, I just think they're all, like, stupid.
Yeah, like, the choices that they make are really bad, is what I'm getting at. Like, I don't want to make it sound like I don't like this movie, because I did really enjoy this movie. It's just the characters make a lot of, like, decisions that make me roll my eyes. I'm like, are you fucking serious? You could avoid, like, this movie if you didn't
have sex with her.
Yeah, if you didn't have sex with her. B, they have, like, several outs or, like, several points where it's just like, all right, dude, just... Why don't you just do this? And there are points where I was like, okay, like, I can see why he doesn't, like, go to the police, because obviously in the culture there, like, if over here, if you were to, like, be like, hey, you know, I cheated on my wife, and now the person I cheated on her with is, like, fucking crazy. I don't think you get... Do you get jail time if you, like, cheat on your wife?
Adultery. Like... There might be a couple.
There are definitely like legal repercussions.
Adultery is like still illegal, but no, you're not going to get jail.
Yeah, because there's definitely like I'm.
But he would lose his job and stuff. I think most of it was not necessarily the legal implications, but just like the implications on his social life and his career.
Which that part of it, like I understood, but there was definitely some points where I just crossed the line where it's like, all right, do you care about like your standing in society more than just your actual family? Which, I don't know, like, big cultural differences between, like, the East and the West, because I know that they, like, take, like, their social standings and their work a lot more, to heart than we do over here.
Yep.
Or they can. I'm not trying to, like, generalize and group
all Asian people are the same, quote by Thomas Griffin.
Well, it actually sounds like a quote from London Hetty since it just came out of your mouth. But, yeah, so basically, the housemaid kind of starts to go even more nuts after that point. She gets real fucking revenge. Like, she's like, well, you guys murdered my kid, even though she was the one who made the choice to jump down the stairs. She shouldn't act like it's their fault when it was...
But she seems pretty mentally unstable.
She is very mentally unstable. That's very true, but still, I'm gonna still argue with her logic. So, yeah, basically, she's like, she goes into their room after, like, they have the baby, and she picks up the baby. And that's the point where if I were the husband, I would have just been like...
Time to die! No.
Maybe not time to die, but time for me to throw you... At least kick you out of the fucking house. And I understand that she's like, you kick me out of the house, I'll go to the dorm at the factories and I'll tell on you. But
he doesn't.
Yeah, so he doesn't.
She
goes upstairs and decides to murder one of his other kids.
Yeah, so she kills the son.
Technically, she doesn't kill him, but she is 100% responsible for that kid's death.
Technically, he killed himself.
Yeah, because she
poisons the water, and then he's like, I don't trust this, so she takes like a swig of it, and then she just leaves it in her mouth without like swallowing it.
Yeah, and then
he drinks it, and then she spits it out, and she goes, haha, pretty much.
She's like,
I poisoned it.
And she gets right up in his face and she's like, you're gonna fucking die. And he starts like choking and shit. And then he like basically freaks out and falls down the stairs and dies. Then when the sister's like, you poisoned the water. And she's like, it was just regular tap water. And I don't know whether to believe her or not.
Didn't we see her put it in?
We didn't see her put it in. We saw her like look at the rat poison and like get the idea, but I don't know if she did it. I think it was meant to be kind of ambiguous whether she poisoned it or not. But regardless.
But either way, she's like, I poisoned it. You don't say that to a child.
Yeah, because he was like choking, but that could have like also just been a placebo.
Yeah.
Because like when I was a kid, if like you could be like, hey, the person next to you has lice, and I'd be like, start scratching my fucking scalp or something. I'd be like, what? Ah! Like, just as an example.
So then they threaten to call the police, and she's like, yeah, well, you're gonna lose your job if you do. And the wife's like, we need the job, or we're gonna lose the house. And I'm like, what is she, like, even if I were to do that in real life, like, I'd be like, I don't care if we lose the house. That's a really shitty situation to be in. Being like, okay, guess our son's just dead. We gotta stay with this woman. And she's like, I want him to come sleep with me tonight. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. And, yeah, basically, from this point on, it's most, like, the daughter is like, I want to get revenge on you, but she has polio, I think, or something. She has to use two crutches, like, at all times, so she can't really do much. Like, she's trying to get stuff. She, like, tries to get the poison, but, like, the housemaid catches her, and people try to poison her, but she's like, I replaced it with sugar, you dumbass. And, and then Miss Cho comes back, and, the housemaid, I can't even remember the housemaid's name. Yeah, I don't.
The housemaid, that's her name. She has a knife and tries to kill Miss Cho.
Yeah, she's like stabs her.
Miss Cho's like, bye. And the husband's like, you do realize she's going to go to the police and you're going to jail now. Like, you're going to go to jail. And she's like, well, I'll just, the only way we can do this is if I die. And the only way I'll die is with you. So they poison themselves.
Yeah. And basically, she's really happy. She's like, I gotta spend my final moments with the man I love. And he's basically like, he kind of sits there for like a minute or so, and then he gets up and he's like, look, I've done everything I fucking can. I'm even dying for you. Now I just want to die near the woman I love, my wife.
My wife?
Yeah. And she's like, no, and follows him down the stairs. She dies before him, even though he tried the poison first.
I mean, I can get that. Like, she's a much smaller figure.
Yeah.
Like, it would probably kill her first.
But, yeah, she dies on the stairs, and he goes to his wife.
Slowly crawls to her.
Yeah,
and she, like, doesn't notice him at first. And I thought he was just gonna die without her noticing.
I know. Well, at first I'm like, oh, because he, like, fell, like, right before the door and was, like, reaching up. I'm like, he's not gonna make it in the door. Pretty cool.
He did. He just kept almost dying, would be like, I gotta make it to my wife.
And then they set up, like, the wife's, like, just in such, like, despair that she's, like, just been, like, sewing, and when she's not sewing, she just falls asleep. Whenever she wakes up, she'll just instantly start sewing again. So he, like, knocks over a chair and she just shoots up and starts sewing. And it's like, oh, he's gonna, like, try to talk, but she won't be able to hear him because his voice is weak. But
he just keeps crawling over and, like, puts his hand up. Like,
yeah, and she sees him.
I love you, but this is the only way.
Yeah, he's like, the moment, I betrayed you is the moment I lost in life. I'm sorry. I love you. Oh, God. Ah! And dies. And then my least...
You don't like the monologue at the end?
Right. The very ending?
It's so funny.
It came out of nowhere.
So funny. I laughed, like, out loud, like, pretty hard. So, like, it fades, and then it cuts back to, like, the first scene, which is, like, kind of, in the timeline, it's a little after they get the maid. And he's like, they're back to reading, and then it goes, like, breaks the fourth wall, and he talks to the audience, and he's like, when men get older. Yeah, because basically the gist is that, like, the movie up until this point had been, like, a story he'd written, and his wife was like, well, that's just, And then she, like, walks the maid, and she makes, like, a line, like, keeping a housemaid around is like keeping a fucking piece of fresh meat near a lion, or something like that. And he's like, ha 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 ha. Yeah, and he's like, well, men, you'll be tempted to cheat on your wives or whatever. Don't. And it's just,
I don't think it was very good either. I just thought it was really funny.
Well, because
just because it was out of nowhere and didn't fit with the film.
Yeah, it was like up until this point, like I took the film pretty seriously. Like there weren't any points where I was like, "Oh yeah," they're like this.
I don't think it added like anything either.
Yeah, no, it was just like
it
a
didn't
little
even make sense. Like just end it when he died.
Yeah, just a little piece of propaganda at the end. Hey, don't cheat on your wives. Now, granted, not necessarily bad propaganda, but I'd still consider it propaganda.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh my god. What the fuck? Like, the first 90% of the film, I was like, all right. And then just that last 20 seconds made me... I think I have to knock it down like a whole point just because of that. Because it was so jarring and took me out and just kind of shit on the experience I had before that. And I was like, what the fuck? I did not enjoy that.
So, this film, I don't know what happened, but it got restored in 2008.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing I couldn't find anything on like the Wikipedia page.
Did the version you watched just suddenly drop in quality halfway through?
Yeah. I rented it through Amazon. There was the Criterion version on there.
I watched it on YouTube, which also had the Criterion version.
Okay. Cool. I paid money for it when I didn't have to. Cool. Well, I hope it goes to more South Korean films. Cool.
I didn't know because a few months ago I was looking for like the Blu-ray for this, and I was looking for the Korean Blu-ray because they can play over here, and sometimes if you're lucky they'll have English subtitles.
Was Korean Region A?
Yeah.
That's weird. I'm so sad because like a Serbian film is Region B, so I have to get a Region 3 Blu-ray drive player.
I feel it. My Blu-ray for the original Suspiria is Korean. Because I bought it before they did the new Blu-ray that they did like a year ago or whatever.
Don't mind me, I'm just looking for a soda. There it is.
But yeah,
so I'm guessing that something damaged the film because it looks like for about it was exactly 47 minutes into the film. Like the reel obviously got damaged and the quality deteriorated like a lot.
It eventually came back.
Yeah, I'm guessing it was like a whole reel, like probably like 20 minutes of footage or something.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that because they said it was restored in 2008, I'm guessing it was much, much worse than that. And they had to like digitally restore it to that point where it was like even salvageable.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't find a lot about the information on that, but like it dips so far in quality. But then it comes back and like I could still understand everything, but just suddenly like the audio cuts out and the audio's even a little off too, and it's just like oof.
There were also some points earlier in the movie where it before it made that major transition where there were a couple points where I had noticed where I'm like, oh, it seemed like that splice there wasn't necessarily like an editing mistake as much as maybe it seemed like a few frames or something had been missing from the reel.
The whole movie itself feels like I don't know if this is the case. I'm not familiar with early South Korean films at all. Like I'm pretty into South Korean films now, but I'm guessing that they just hit their stride a little later, and then now they're ahead of the game. You know, I'm gonna say they're pretty great, but it felt like a film from the 1940s in a lot of ways. Like editing choices, like the story structure, even some of the shot composition. It felt like I was watching an early Hitchcock film even.
Yeah.
And that might just be influence, if the director saw a lot of Hitchcock, but that's what I noticed at least. It felt like it didn't feel like a movie from 1960. I really liked the movie. I'm not saying that's a bad thing or anything, but it felt like it came from an earlier point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say it might generally be a little darker than most movies I've seen from the 40s.
That's true.
I'd probably say it's closer to a 50s movie.
Yeah, I just mean
but I get your saying.
Technically.
Yeah, technically.
Technically, it reminds me of late 30s, early 40s. But storytelling, I could see it late 50s or early 60s. The story itself,
is dark enough that it's later, but the storytelling in it, I guess, like some of the cuts and stuff, like they were a little too sporadic, but at the same time, it might be because it was damaged.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell.
But
Yeah, so,
also, I just wanted to give a shout out to people that digitally restore old movies, because that's like probably one of the most underappreciated jobs in like the film industry.
oh yeah,
It's incredible what they do. Like on a large scale, like the most known version of this, like that's acclaimed right now, is like when Peter Jackson did They Will Not Grow Old, I think it was called. The World War I documentary. I still need to watch that, but I've seen like some of the footage. It's incredible.
Yeah, I was going...
incredible.
I was at Walmart, and I was going to buy it because they had it there, but they only had it on DVD. I'm like, no, I want to watch this on like Blu-ray at the least.
I'm really sad I didn't get a chance to go see it in theaters.
Yeah.
Because I know it was playing near me for at least a couple days. But like, not only just the visual stuff, but did you hear about what they did for like audio?
They dubbed
it, but they made sure that they figured out where each soldier was from, and they got soldiers from like those regions, so that not soldiers, but people from those regions,
that
so
way
they would
have
sound
accents
as correct as possible. Like so much work was put into it, and that's why like I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen like a lot of clips.
Yeah,
that's why I'm so excited to see what he could do with like his 4K versions of his own earlier films.
Yeah,
because if he can restore like footage from the 1900s to look as incredible as that, like better than some films coming out today.
Yeah.
Like, imagine what he could do with his own work from, like, the 80s.
Yeah, like, oh my god, you haven't seen...
I haven't seen Bad Taste or Brain Dead.
I was gonna say, I can already, like, see some of, like, the iconic scenes from, Dead Alive or Brain Dead, and, I can't wait till the 4K for that comes out. I'm definitely gonna pick it up, because from what I've noticed, the Blu-rays have a tendency not to stay in print very long for that movie. Like, they did a Blu-ray a few years ago, and it didn't stay in print for very long. Every DVD copy I've ever had is always, like... I don't know how it kept happening. My dad let one of our, like, family friends borrow it when I was a kid, and I never got it back. And, I let one of my friends in high school borrow it. And she might have given it back to me, but I don't know what happened to it. I don't have it. So, yeah, I don't know. So when the 4K for that comes out, I'm definitely going to be picking it up. But, back on the subject of the Housemaid, got any other, like, thoughts?
I just wanted to go on a tangent about digitally restoring things, because it's a great thing to do.
And I feel like a lot of people just hear that and go, oh yeah, it's probably like really easy. Probably just punch a couple computer buttons and it fixes it. But it requires like a lot of like hard work.
Yeah, probably takes a long time.
Yeah, and if you want to like properly do it, you need like the original like reels.
Yeah.
You can do restorations with just like what you got, like if you got like a digital file, but it never turns out as good.
But The Housemaid, I thought the performances were pretty good. I really like even though the husband Mr. Kim was an asshole, like, especially like the last part, like with him like crawling and stuff, I thought was good.
Yeah, because like he made a shitty decision, but no one deserves the shit.
I do enjoy films where everyone in it's a fucking like the worst, because he was a terrible person, like even from the beginning, like snitching on her, and then we didn't even say, but that lady ends up dying.
Yeah, and then she was sick.
Yeah, what
they explain that,
and then are you sure she didn't kill herself? Because then he's like, why would it be my fault if some crazy lady kills herself or something like that?
He says that to
Oh, Miss Cho, because she's like...
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's like, just like that. Like, he just doesn't care about anyone except this.
Because there's that part where, like, when she confesses, she's like, I should have told you that she was ill. The letter was from me. The only thing that I could see, like, feeding into the fact that she, like, might have killed herself was the fact that it seemed like, her mother at the funeral was like, why didn't you just take my daughter? Which I think that might have just been, like, maybe... I don't know what that would have been.
Yeah.
That's a weird little continuity kind of plot hole type deal. But
for the most part, I really enjoyed the film.
Yeah.
It wasn't amazing, but I really enjoyed it. I definitely think people should watch it, and I definitely see how influential it's been for, like, some directors like Bong Joon-ho and, like, some Korean directors. I can definitely see that, so...
Yeah, I've heard Parasite takes a lot of inspiration from this movie, which I haven't seen yet, so I wouldn't know. But I'm excited to see it.
Yeah. So what'd you give the film, Thomas?
Well, if I include my little remark that I was saying where I want to dock at a point for the ending, it would be a 6, but I'm going to give it a 7, because I feel like for that 10-second ending...
Just forget about it.
Yeah, I'll do the same thing that I do with, like, Candyman, and I'll just, like, cut out the first and last 30 seconds and call the movie a near masterpiece. Although, I don't think this is like a near masterpiece, but it's very good.
I would also give it a 7, even like, because I also didn't hate, like, because I laughed so hard at it, because it was so, like, bad.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I really enjoyed the movie. Good. 7 average. But now we're going to talk about an amazing movie. Hanagatami, 2017.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I don't think Thomas liked it.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how I felt about it.
I know. Oh,
I did. Like, London messaged me like 2 days ago, and he's like, I don't know. Like, usually I have a good idea on, like, what I think.
Like, I can guess Thomas's rating on something. Like between, like, a point or two kind of thing. Like.
And the first, like, 20 minutes of this movie, I was like, God, fuck London. I hate this. This is awful, and it's, like, almost 3 hours long, but it starts to kind of, like, smooth out towards the middle. And there are points where I'm like, I think I might like this movie, and then it would do something I'm like, I think I hate this movie.
I kind of thought you would say stuff like this. Personally, I loved this movie. I really, really like, you know, wacky things and, like, more surreal things. And there's a lot of, like, there's a lot of filmmaking things in the film.
Over my head just from culturally.
And it feels like a movie that you have to watch more than once.
Yeah,
in
like,
a lot of ways.
I feel like I have to go, like, deep study, like, the era, like, leading up to World War II in Japan, and, like, the culturally how, like, the war.
I also feel
Japan.
like I was more okay with everything that happened and all the, like, filmmaking techniques because I've seen Hausu.
Yeah, see, that was one of the things I was thinking about a lot. I'm like, I wonder if I would have, like, enjoyed this movie more if I had seen Hausu first.
But, like, there are so many things that, like, on the surface, you might not like, but I liked because I'm like, I see what you're doing here. Or at least I think I do because I try to pretend I'm smart. Like, there's this whole thing where all the main men in the film are supposed to be 16 years old, but they're all played by people that are anywhere from 28 to 45. And what I saw that as, this might just be me making stuff up, but the film at its core is an anti-war film, like very heavily anti-war. And it just feels to me like how during times of war, countries will see young men, like young adults that are usually seen as children still, like teenagers. They'll see them as much older than they are because they have to. It's like a way of kind of desensitizing the fact that these people's lives are going to end so much earlier than they should.
Yeah,
that's what I saw.
There's that line towards the end of the movie where they, like, are talking about how like youth is expendable.
Yeah, he's like, I refuse to believe youth is expendable.
Yeah.
Anyway, so here's a plot synopsis. I have the film is structured into 3 acts. The main plot is just about a group of teenagers who are slowly being indoctrinated over time into this never-ending like war effort. It's during World War One. The climax of the film. Spoilers. No.
Oh, was it World War One?
Sorry, World War Two.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to say one. My bad. World War Two, and the climax of the film is the Pearl Harbor attacks, December 7th, 1941, which launched the U.S. to jump into World War Two.
Yes.
And it's I've seen a lot of U.S. films and U.S. history talking about the side of the story from the U.S. perspective.
Yeah.
And I lived in Hawaii, which is... I didn't live on the island where Pearl Harbor is, but I grew up like right next to that island.
You know what we did when we learned about Pearl Harbor in my high school?
You like put on yellow face and you like ran around be like...
I think I would have...
Konnichiwa.
I think I would have much preferred that towards what we actually did.
What did you do?
We watched Pearl Harbor.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, no, I didn't like that.
I first saw Pearl Harbor when it first came out, and I liked it then. There's still a couple of things, like, I don't mind Cuba Gooding Jr. in that film.
Yeah.
If it was just... I wish it was just about him.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It's the
romance?
Yeah, it's like... don't turn this...
It's a terrible movie.
It just wanted to be, like, Titanic, where it takes this American... tragedy and flips it into a romance story. And it's like, what the fuck? No. I mean,
I don't even
works.
like Titanic.
Yeah, I don't like Titanic, but at least it makes more sense on the Titanic because it gives you like characters to kind of like relate to, and it's just like the Titanic's about a boat that sinks, and you can't have a 3-hour movie about a boat that sinks. You could have a 3-hour movie about Pearl Harbor without having to like basically insert a shit ton of filler into it.
But also, let's talk about, before I get super into what the film's about and the plot synopsis, I want to talk a little bit about how the movie got made. Apparently, it's based on a book, and then Obayashi, I think his name is, the director. This was the film he wanted to make from the very beginning. Hausu was his first film, but even before that, he wanted to make this film. But I don't know whether it was just, I know probably in the 70s he couldn't get money for it because it was so anti-war. Mm-hmm. And nobody likes, studios don't like funding anti-war films because they're pro-war. And there's a lot of anti-imperialist sentiments and anti-Japanese government sentiments in the film, so it's obvious that's probably why. But it took him 40 years to make the film. He didn't get it really greenlit until 2017 or 2016 when he started filming. And when he right before production started, he was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and given 3 months to live.
Oh.
But he fought it off, and he finished the film, and he's still alive now.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, it's really a really touching story.
I was half expecting you to say he died. I was like, oh, no, shit.
He's like, I think that's there's been interviews where he's like, I needed to finish this film. He wanted his life's work to kind of be this film.
Man's got grit, I'll give him that.
Yeah. And he was 81, just fighting off, or I think he's 81 now, but he was 79 fighting off cancer. He's like, I'm going to make my film. And, Toshihiko, the main character, is obviously him. He was born, I think Pearl Harbor happened when he was 4 years old. But, the sentiment is growing up right after a war.
Yeah.
It's probably really brutal. I don't know. I haven't experienced World War I or II, or even Korean War or Vietnam War. So, yeah, I don't know. But,
I think my enjoyment of the film came from how personal a lot of it felt and how surreal it felt. He employs a technique of green screen auteurism.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one of the things that I can't tell if I liked or disliked is like some shots like looked really great, like really cinematic, and then other things looked like I was watching like a fucking Adult Swim late night like Tim and Eric sketch or something where the editing was just doing all sorts of weird little
the editing's extremely strange. This is probably the weirdest movie we watched on the podcast, I would say.
Yeah, at least in terms of like experimental editing.
Maybe
choices.
This and El Topo, you know?
This, El Topo, and World of Kaneko.
Oh, yeah. I just keep picking weird movies.
Yeah, well, Japan's, like, what I've noticed about, like, kind of more of their, like, modern cinema is a lot of it is very, like, visually stylized.
Yeah.
Which I'm not the world's biggest fan of. I don't like the way that their movies look visually a lot of the time from what I've seen. I think...
But we know I am.
Yeah, I'm not, like, bashing, like, Japanese media or anything. Like, I fucking love, like, anime, obviously. I'm wearing a Naruto shirt, even though I don't even really like Naruto.
But you wear it like it's like one of your only shirts. It seems because it seems like every time I see you, you're wearing that or like
I've got like 10 shirts.
The monkey shirt.
Monkey shirt.
I don't know.
I don't have a monkey.
Can I get you a shirt with a monkey on it? Would you wear it?
I fucking love monkeys.
Yeah.
So yes, I would wear it.
Yeah, 2 Weens and a monkey.
Fucking, more of a gorilla guy, but I mean, I love monkeys.
But yeah, like, so it pretty much every shot that takes place outdoors, employs a green screen. And they have
cheaper than shooting outside, I guess.
But the thing is, like, they still shoot all the backgrounds pretty much. I'm pretty sure they shot all the backgrounds, but they wanted it. I think this is just me talking. I don't know these things, obviously, but it feels like they were just going for, you know, a disconnect from reality. Like,
yeah. Like, it very much felt that way, especially with that, like, intro to the movie. Like, the first, like, 5 minutes, I'm like, it was, like, so overly stylized, and I was, like, so just jarred. I was just like, there's like there were like old
like
people
lotus petals. There's like pink lotus petals like everywhere on screen. They're like CG'd in or drawn in. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And what I noticed, Thomas just finished the movie like right before the podcast because he couldn't like finish it before, so we watched the last 20 minutes. And what I noticed that I didn't notice before, and this might just be me being overly observant and making shit up, but as the film goes on and as like the teens lose hope and like go off to war and all this shit happens, the like vibrant things that will be happening on screen, like there's a lot of lotus petals at the beginning, and then there's like a lot of fireflies throughout. Like there's just a lot of stuff throughout screen. Like in the last screen, at the very end of the movie, Toshihiko, the main character, is like an old man. There's a single firefly. Like there's one.
What is it with Japan, World War II, and fireflies?
And it's obviously just like I'm guessing it's like as you grow older, as you like you lose your creativity or you lose your disconnection between like the harshness of reality.
Mm-hmm.
But I might just be bullshitting too. I don't know. I like thinking of things, but it could be wrong. Anyway, let's talk more about the plot real quick.
Yeah.
So Toshihiko is a coward, a self-described coward.
Mm-hmm.
He has a lot of trouble just doing anything. He goes to his school. He meets a bunch of cool people, or he likes them. He thinks they're cool. Yukai is like this guy who's always dressed in like soldier garb, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Kira is like this really old guy who's playing a 16-year-old, and he has like a cane, and he kind of looks like a wizard. And later on, he kills Yukai's dog for no reason because he doesn't care about morality, quote by him.
Yeah.
And then there's also this guy named Aso who's pretty. He's not super involved with the plot, but there are some pretty key moments with him. And he's kind of like the class clown. He kind of looks like Harry Potter.
You've got like the 5 or 6 like core characters, and then you've got like the 2 supporting characters, and Aso and the professor.
Yeah, there's also a professor Yamauchi. He's teaching them English, or he teaches in English. I'm not sure what he teaches. But later on, he's like found out to be a communist and sent off to war because of it.
Yeah.
And or he just holds communist ideals. All he was doing really was reading Lenin.
Yeah, because a big part of what they were saying is like it's brought up in like a couple different lines, but because they're like, why are we learning? Aren't we about to go to war with America? Why are we reading like Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven if we're going to go to war with their country? And he's basically like, art should have no borders.
Yeah. Like literally, he's just a pretty good teacher. He's like a pretty good guy.
I think that exact line came from Kira. I think Kira says that, but the teacher had said something very similar, where he's like, but expressing the same.
There's a pretty like kind of harrowing scene later on. There's like the film's very bizarre, very weird, but then like I do think there's a lot of scenes that are like pretty intense and pretty like there's a lot of dialogue. It's like, oh god. There's a scene where he had like this kind of long flowing mane, and later on in the film, after he's found out to be a commie, he gets sent off to war. He gets a buzz cut, and he meets. Does he see Aso as he leaves?
Yeah,
he sees Aso as he leaves, and he talks about a movie called Humanity and the Paper Balloons. I think it's called. I added it to my watch list. Maybe I'll pick that. But it's by this guy who, like, I think he went into World War I, or he went into a war, and that was, like, he made this movie. It was, like, critically acclaimed. It's considered, like, by a lot to be, like, an incredible, incredible film. And then he went off to war, and he died at the age of, like, 27.
Oh, terrible.
Then that was, like, right when he was getting his stride. Like, he was, like, a pretty prolific director, too. He had made, like, a bunch of films in that time, or he made at least a couple. Like, he was getting on with it. Oh
man, you gotta love war.
Yeah, and he like promised also. He's like, I'll come back. I'm not going to die. And it's like, oof, yikes. And so yeah, Toshihiko befriends these people, and he's staying with his mom's friend. I don't know.
Yeah, I
can't figure out what their relation is. So his pseudo friend / girlfriend is named Mina. She's dying the entire film. She stays. She's a pretty central theme and plot device for the film. She has to stay indoors pretty much all the time. She's dying of some disease. She's dying. Like, she'll be dead soon.
I think she was probably my least favorite part of this movie.
Wow. You don't like women?
It's not that. It's just that I don't know, like, because I found like her like 2 friends pretty interesting. Like Cheetos and whatever Akane. Like I thought they were both like interesting characters. I liked their scenes a lot more. I don't know, like, I don't know what it was about that plot, but every time it, like, switched back to, like, Mina and Auntie, I was like a fucking anchor scraping against the ocean floor. I was just like, oh man, it just came to a screeching halt, and I was just like, man, I am not enjoying this.
Oh. Okay. But yeah, Mina lives with her. She calls her auntie, but she's really like her sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Her brother had gone off to war and I think died.
Yeah.
And she was the wife of her brother, so they live together. She's dying. They also have a housekeeper who has 2 sons that went off to war. It's pretty important to note, like, throughout the film, it's revealed that, like, pretty much everyone in the film has been affected by the war. Like, everyone's lost someone. Like, her other friend, Cheetos, she's an orphan because I think both her parents died because of the war or something like that. Akine.
she like her brother goes off to the war, and she's like trying to keep her cool, but it's pretty obviously not okay. Like she's making headbands for all the soldiers, like the entire film. And then Toshihiko, he's not as affected as everybody else. Like he doesn't know where his family is. They live in like somewhere else. I can't remember where they live, but he's less affected. But he wants to join the war because he doesn't want to be a coward at least. And then later on, as the film goes on, all of these people are like, I don't want to die. I don't want to go into this. There's a scene later on in the film where he's sitting at a brothel, getting drunk, and he runs out screaming like, I'm not going to die, and I'm not going to die for this war.
This was one of the shots where I was like, oh, I really like this. This is when he's like running down the street, like after he leaves the bar.
Yeah.
I really liked that shot.
And then there's a soldier there that's just about his age or just a little older that like hears him, and he's like, he leaves too. And then it's revealed later that he kills himself because he heard Toshihiko's little speech, and he's like, I don't want to die for this war either. So he just kills himself.
Yeah, he doesn't himself in the stomach.
And like I said, there's some really like harrowing scenes in this film. That's like, and yeah, this film fucked me. Like, I know it probably didn't do it for you, but it really hit me hard in a lot of ways.
Yeah, this movie was like,
but I really like weird things, and like I was feeling kind of the same way as you, like the whole film. Like, do I like this film? And then something just clicked at the end, and I was just like, oh, I love this film.
I don't know if I came to the same conclusion as you, but
that's all right.
When I started the movie, I'm like, I'm giving this a fucking 0, and by the end of it, I don't know what I'm gonna give this movie.
I don't even like the first part. I don't even like understand what you hated so much about.
I hated the visual style mostly,
but once you got used to it, it was a little better.
That and they toned it down when
well, yeah, and I think
out of the gate with the CGI like pedals that you were talking about, and it took me a while to catch on that the characters were supposed to be younger. I'm like, why are all these fucking old people at this school? I was like, what's going on? He killed that dog. I know that happens like significantly later in the movie, but
and then the film pretty much ends with Mina dying. Also, which they saw a little earlier, going off to war. Mm-hmm. Well, but what they see is a giant line of soldiers just marching into the ocean, which I saw it as just like they're inevitably going to die. So it's like they're just marching straight into like their own oblivion.
Oh yeah,
that's what I saw. And then Yukai's gonna go off to war. It cuts to like an old man, Toshihiko, and he's like, I'm the only one that survived. And like Yukai went off to war and died.
There's one other person that survived.
What, Akane?
Akane.
Well,
nobody.
But then he's like, I don't know. So I'm she might have just killed herself or something. Like,
possibly.
When he said survive, I think it's like the only one who got out with his mind intact too. Like, because like he's the one that said, I'm the only one who survived, and then he said that she's still alive, so I saw it as like, oh, but she's no longer the same. And like he was able to like keep a little bit of that like lovingness and like that.
Yeah, he still had that one.
Yeah, that fire. That's why I thought like I didn't notice that the first time I watched the film. But I think that's a pretty key part because it's in all of the scenes he's in doing that. And then he's like, he goes to Mina's grave and he sees himself as his younger self again. And like, because of the firefly. Like,
yeah.
This film, like, I really do think I need to watch again. Has so much stuff. And not just because it's 3 hours, just because there's so many things.
Yeah, it's a very dense movie. Lots going on in it, both on the surface level and just on oh fuck, I'm tired. What's the term I'm trying to fucking think of?
Surface, below surface.
I mean, sure, we'll go with that.
The below surface level.
Yeah.
On a molecular level.
There's a term.
Do you want a soda?
No, I'm good.
Can I slap you in the face?
Yeah, go ahead, do it. But yeah, no, it just had a lot going on. Dense movie. I don't know what to think. My head's still spinning. I finished it 40 minutes ago?
Well, we've been recording the podcast for an hour and 20 minutes.
I finished it 45 minutes ago?
Yep. God. It's just... movies are amazing.
Yeah?
I just want to say that real quick.
Yeah, no.
I don't normally say this, but this film is unlike a lot of films I've seen. I'm not going to say any film I've seen, but this is very unique.
Yeah.
And
we'll give it that one.
I know it didn't click for you as much as it did for me, but it really clicked for me. Like the movie Click starring Adam Sandler.
It's an emotional roller coaster.
Do you like that movie?
No.
Thought it was okay. We should watch that. That should be your pick. Anyway, there's a lot. I don't really want to get into all of the details. There's so much that happens in the movie.
Yeah.
But, there's a lot of homoerotic stuff in the film, too. There's stuff where there's just, Cheetos? Was that her name?
Yeah. It was Chitos.
Yeah, Cheetos and Akine just are lesbians then.
Yeah.
Just, profess their love for each other. There's a lot of stuff between, Yukai and Toshihiko and, even, Yukai and, Kira later on that's, pretty homoerotic. Yukai and Toshihiko get drunk one night and ride a horse naked together.
Yeah. That
they stole because it was going to be, carted off to war. And they're no, this is, an innocent animal. It doesn't deserve that. So, there's pretty, big seeds of rebellion from the very beginning, and that's why it's so, sad to see, Yukai, who's, even at the end, they're Yukai was always the wandering soldier. He says that. And it's so sad because Yukai obviously doesn't want to go to war, but something compels him to go. His brother went. Mm. And he even wears one of his brother's suits to, a dance that they go to. And it's he's being compelled. Everyone's being compelled to this, war effort, whether it's through nationalism or, family expectations or even, being drafted. They're all being pushed towards this inevitable, downfall where they're all going to die. And they can't escape it. And I think I just really like anti-war films. Paths of Glory is either my first or second favorite Kubrick film. And it's amazing.
I still haven't seen that.
We should watch it. Maybe I'll pick it. I might.
I wouldn't be opposed.
But then you won't like it and I'll cry.
I think I like it. I mean, I'm not going to set it in stone here because I don't want to just assume I'd like a movie, but I think Stanley Kubrick's got a pretty good track record, so.
Yeah, we should watch Killer's Kiss. So, the film is hard to come by. You're going to have to go on, I think we watched it on newasiantv.com, and hey, I would have bought it, but it's literally not available.
Yeah.
So I watched it on the internet. But I think that you all should watch it.
Yeah, I'd probably recommend the same.
Even if you don't like it, you're gonna like.
There are things to get out of it. Even if you don't like the movie as a whole, I think that there's a lot going on and that you could, cherry pick things that you do like. I don't know if I like this movie as a whole, but there were lots of things
I really
in the movie
like the dialogue in the film. I think some of it's pretty funny. Like, I laughed at some of the stuff, but also, like, when it got intense, like, the intense dialogue I thought was really good. Also, when Mina dies, she has, like, this dream sequence, or an hallucination or something.
Yeah.
I doubt that was real, but she, like, sees her auntie as, like, a vampire. Yukai's fucking going in the water. One of my favorite shots, it's a bizarre shot and it's very weird, but I really like, she dives from her bed into her floor and it turns into water.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's, like, a really creative and cool shot, and it reminds me a lot of House, or Houseu, whatever you want to call it. So watch Houseu as well. Thomas.
One day.
And I don't know, do you have anything else you want to say about the film?
I mean, I'm sure if I... Let me think. This is a fucking fat movie. It's fucking
honestly, thick. I'm going to say this as well. It felt long to me, but I wasn't... Well, I also liked the movie, obviously, much more than you did. But I was never, like... I thought the pacing was pretty good. Like, I wasn't ever, like, checking the time. Like, I was just watching it, and I'm like, oh, we're watching it. It felt long to me, but I personally was never bored.
Yeah, I got, like, 130 minutes into it last night. And then... I had also watched The Housemaid, like, right before I had watched this one.
Yeah, I watched The Housemaid right after this.
And it was getting to the point where I was like...
I'm going to be on... I forgot. I did... I paused about 40 minutes in because I was randomly, like, not feeling well and kind of, like, not... And I took a small nap. But, like, I don't think that, like, changes how the pacing was. I think that was just me not feeling well.
Yeah. Where I was just, like, really windy, and I was like, holy shit, I need a break from this. I'll watch the rest of it on my break at work, and then the mobile site shit out on me, and I was like, oh, fuck, I can't find another one. So then I watched the last 25 minutes here.
Together with me.
Yes.
Time to go pee. Sucking the ashes out of my urethra, eating the cheese.
What do you have?
Off of my knees. Watch out, I am in a lasagna. I don't know where I'm going with this, but we're singing a song because it's lit. Oh, yeet, yeet, yeet.
What?
Yeeter,
what's that melody?
Yeeto, I don't know.
Dun, 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 dun. I've heard... I don't know. I'm tired.
So do you have a rating?
Okay, hold on. Let me think here.
Do you want me to give mine first or second?
I don't think it'll hold much, like, influence over my rating, if that's what you're implying. You can give yours first.
I'm giving this film a 9. And I'm guessing Thomas is giving it somewhere between a 4 and a 6. Possibly a 5.
No, I was debating between 6 and 7, because this movie doesn't always hit, but when it hits, it does hit. But I also hate the stylization of the movie. I'm just at a corner of the road.
World of Conoco, kind of.
No, I have no idea why the mic just did that. I'm sorry.
Kind of. I think a lot more about this movie hits than World of Conoco did.
But World of Conoco's shorter.
But World of Conoco is shorter, yes. This movie is a lot longer.
Probably about an hour.
Yeah,
this is like 2 hours and 50 minutes, I think, 47 minutes. And yeah. I think World of Conoco was like an hour and 47.
I think...
I'm so in suspense. Is that a creeper? How are you doing that so loud?
Oh my god.
A 6?
Yeah,
okay.
A 6.
So
I'll give it a 6.
Cool. Do you want to watch it again with me? Right now?
No.
So that means that together our scores is 7.5. Pretty good.
Another side note, Thomas, after much debate and, internal, thinkaroo, he actually changed his score later on to a 7. So our average is an 8. So yeah, watch it even more now. Eat-a-roo.
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
I would give it a 6.5, but I don't give 0.5
yeah,
scores.
we don't do that here on the Ween mobile.
Unlike us. I know, like, Lucero likes to give movies 0.5s. So that's his rating.
It just kind of annoys me.
It doesn't annoy me. I'm not the one who has to count up the averages.
I'll do anything. Okay, Thomas, so you have contemporary films.
Yep.
What is your pick?
So this is a pick from one of my favorite directors. I have not seen this movie, but I own it. I haven't seen it yet, so I figure why not?
So you don't want to watch the bad movie?
No, I'm going to pick the good movie this week. I'll pocket the bad movie for another time. This is from, I think, 2007. That might be a little premature. It is directed by Yorgos Lanthimos.
Dogtooth?
Yeah, Dogtooth.
Dogtooth, let's see where you can watch Dogtooth. Maybe nowhere.
It might be 2010.
Might be 2010. We will find out.
2009?
We will find out very shortly as soon as my Just Watch app loads. Yeetaroo, yeetaroo, yada yada, yeetaroo, 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 yada yada. 2009.
Okay.
It is available on Hoopla or Canopy, depending on what library card you have. You can get it on there. It's also available free on Tubi TV, which is an ad-supported streaming service. It's pretty good. It's also available on Fandor, which I'm not really sure about, and then it's available on Shudder as well. So if you have any of those streaming services, well, also Tubi's free, and so is Canopy, and so is Hoopla. So
I think Shudder has some sort of a Verve extension.
Yes, if you have Verve, you will have Shudder as well. So it should be pretty easy to watch this one because it is available multiple areas for free. My film, I don't know if you've seen this film, so if you have, I'm going to pick a different one. But it is a 1950 film by the director Billy Wilder. It's Sunset Boulevard.
I have this on Blu-ray. I have not seen it, though.
Sweet.
So
very exciting.
I don't even have to fucking go to any streaming services or tortilla my movies this week. I can just pop in my good old Blu-rays.
So let's check where you can watch Sunset Boulevard. It is available on Prime Video and it is on Canopy, so get a library card. Having fun isn't hard when you've got a library card. Play the Arthur theme. Da, da, da.
Is that just
play the Arthur song, London.
Is that how the episode's going to end with? Just the Arthur theme?
No, the Arthur song where they're like, having fun isn't hard when you've got a library card. And my voice is going to be on that track.
Oh, good.
Probably. Or it's just going to be me doing this and then silence because it's awkward. And I like awkwardness. So it depends on if I'm in an Arthur mood when I edit this or I'm in an awkwardness mood. Reminder, Mr. Ratburn's gay and got married this year and people freaked the fuck out. As in right-wing people. They're like, what do you mean he's gay? I'm like, have you seen the show? He's always been gay, you fucking dumbasses.
I'm not going to say I never watched it. I watched like a handful of episodes.
In addition to my pick, can we also watch the pilot episode of Arthur?
You know, because it's...
Or, actually, how about this? You don't have to watch the whole thing if you don't, but can we talk a little bit next week about the Dark Crystal series? Even if you just watch the first episode.
Yeah, we can do that.
You just watch as much as you can.
How many episodes?
It's 10.
10? Are they all hour long?
The first one's hour long, and then the rest are, I think, like 40 minutes.
Okay.
So, just watch when you can.
Yeah.
We'll see. But I'm very excited. I almost watched it last night. I almost started it, but I had a rough night at work, so didn't get a chance to. So
I'll let it suck the life essence out. I mean, why not?
I can't wait to hear Mark Hamill.
Oh, is he doing?
I'm pretty sure he's a Skeksis in it. He might be one of the main Skeksis in it. Okay. Also, if you don't know this about me, I don't know how, because I talk about it like every episode, but I really love puppets. Yeah, and I really love Dark Crystal.
He also loves Mark Hamill.
I also really love Mark Hamill. I also really love the director. No, I don't. The director made Clash of the Titans.
Oh, yeah.
But apparently this is really good. He also made The Transporter with Jason Statham, which I've heard the first one's not bad. I haven't seen it. Have you seen it?
Mm-mm.
Transporter? He's at least one of the directors.
Really
Louis Leterrier. He also did The Incredible Hulk. The MCU one.
Oh, that one's not good.
I don't think it's as bad as people say. People like to pretend that's the worst MCU film. There's a lot of bad MCU.
I mean, I don't think it's like a fucking like franchise breaker like apparently Marvel did, but
like I kind of when I watched it last, I kind of liked it, but it's been a while. It's been a while
since I could hold my head up high. It's been a while since I first saw you, last saw you. I don't know the lyrics.
And we are two Weens watching a screen.
Yeah.
And I'm here to remind you to subscribe to us on YouTube.
And tell your grandmas, tell your dog, tell your mail carrier about two Weens and a screen.